It's been announced that WB is open to selling their IPs for some easy money. Or in other words, they're willing to let other studios use their characters for video games. But we all know that some characters are more expensive than others. If you want to buy Scorpion, good luck with that. He's the golden boy. So if you want to purchase the license to use him, then you know it's gonna get expensive. But if you want to buy Reiko, then go for it. Today, we're ranking every Mortal Kombat 1 character based on how likely WB is to sell their license. And if this video does well, then I'll make a sequel ranking every Mortal Kombat character ever made. So leave a comment down below and like the video if you want more. Now without any further ado, let's begin. Alright, first up we have the very expensive category. These are the fan favorites, right? The characters that are the most valuable to WB. So right away, you know that Scorpion and Sub-Zero are going up there, and as much as I hate to admit it, Scorpion's definitely gonna be in the front, but where is he? Ah, there he is, very desaturated, there he is. And you know what, let's put Kuai Liang Scorpion up here too, because at the end of the day, he is still Scorpion, and you know he's gonna be expensive. And real quick, just getting this out of the way, guest characters are not gonna be anywhere on this list. Okay, next up we have the expensive category. These characters are still super important and valuable, but WB is a bit more willing to sell them. So for example, Liu Kang, Fire God Liu Kang, if you want to be specific, I feel like this guy could have his own spin-off game and it would be incredible. And the same could be said for New Era Kung Lao and the New Era Raiden as well. In fact, imagine both of them in a Shaolin Monk spin-off game. That would be pretty sick. And throw Liu Kang in there too, that'd be pretty sick. But what about the affordable tier? Who would be in this category? I feel like Melina might be here, and Rain. Reptile would probably be here. Smoke might be here. Smoke might be in the cheaper category, but I'll leave him in affordable for now. We'll see how things play out. Hey everyone, a future underdog here. I don't feel like setting the camera up. I just want to let you know, if I put your favorite character in a lower tier, don't freak out because I keep mixing characters around for the entire video, which on the one hand makes things way more entertaining, but also that means do not freak out if I put your character in a low tier. Keep watching until the end of the video because I keep mixing people around the whole time and it's all very fun to watch and listen to. Okay, I'm gonna give the reins back to past underdog now. And now in the cheaper category, we're gonna have a lot of the villains, right? We're talking Baraka, and maybe Goro, he's gonna be down here too. Frost is gonna be down here, maybe Cyrax. And of course you gotta put Sector there too. It's just polite to always pass the ketchup with the mustard. You can't separate them. But for now, let's move on to the take 'em category. These are characters that WB just wants to get rid of and they're willing to sell them for very cheap. First up is Natara. If they're willing to let Megan Fox voice this character and then keep those voice lines in the game after hearing how terrible they sound, then yeah, they're gonna sell this character pretty cheap. And sadly, the same is true for a lot of the 3D era characters like Reiko, who's here twice for some reason. And then we got Darius, we got maybe Serena. I feel like Stryker would be in the cheaper category, not quite in the take 'em category, because he'd be good for a Special Forces video game. But then you have Motaro, Ashra. Actually, I'm not sure. Does WB like Ashra? They made her a main character in one of the movies. Yeah, I'll put her in the cheaper category. Next up, we have Garrus, we got Havoc, we got Lee May. You get the idea. All the characters that are 3D era and only brought back for the old fans like myself who are either approaching 30 or over 30 years old already. Okay, I've got to stop myself before I fill up the entire take 'em row. Let's go back up to the very expensive category. You know for a fact Sonya's gonna be up here, and Jax is going to be in the expensive category maybe because he did not show up until the second game. But then Johnny Cage is definitely going to be in the very expensive. In fact, he's going to be in front, let's be honest. He's going to be right around here. There we go. And that might actually be it for the very expensive category. So let's go one row down. I feel like Katana would definitely be here, probably in front of these characters. And then, is that it? Maybe Shang Tsung would be expensive because he's one of the main villains, if not the main villain, right? And then honestly, that might be it for this row. I feel like Kano is definitely worth it to us, the fans, but I'm not sure if WB feels the same way. I feel like they would sell him for a fair price. And sadly, the same is also true for Kung Lao. General Shao would be in like the cheaper category. Shujinko would be in the, probably in the take 'em category, honestly. But what about Bi-Han Sub-Zero? They killed this guy off in pretty much every single game. He couldn't even survive all of Mortal Kombat 1 without turning into the Noob Saibot. And as a result, I feel like he'd be in the affordable category, but more towards the front. But then what about Kenshi? I feel like he might be like at the end of affordable. Then the Combat Kid's gotta be in the cheaper category. And then Tanya's probably gonna be in the take 'em category, unfortunately. Sindel is gonna be at the end of the affordable category, probably. But then what about Quan Chi? I think he'd be in the, actually Quan Chi is part of the Deadly Alliance, so he's probably more in the affordable category. If not for that, I think that Quan Chi would be in the cheaper category. But ever since he teamed up with Shang Tsung, he's become a bit more of a powerhouse and a bit more valuable. So you know what? I'm putting him in the affordable category, and don't freak out about the order of left to right for now, because I'm gonna refix those. I'm gonna do a bit more organizing is what I'm saying. Refix is not a word. All right, last up is Ermac. Where would Ermac go? He's probably somewhere in like the middle of affordable, like in front of Smoke, but behind Reptile. Is Ermac more expensive than Reptile? I'm not actually sure. I feel like Reptile might be closer towards the front, but Melina's also pretty cool. Like, Melina's pretty cool. Let's do it more like this, maybe? I think this might be the order. All right, so every character is in the correct row now, I think, which means it's time to arrange them in the proper order from left to right. Very expensive category: Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, and then Discount Scorpion. I think this works. Then in the expensive category, we have Liu Kang, Kitana, Kung Lao, Raiden, Jax, and Shang Tsung. I think Raiden's probably in front of New Era Kung Lao. New Era Raiden, to be specific. And then, yeah, I think this makes sense. The affordable category, the biggest category, we may want to move some of these characters around. Melina at the front, that makes sense to me, but is she more popular than Reptile? With Rule 34, I think so. If anybody wants to make adult dating sims of these characters, then I think Melina's value might skyrocket. All right, so Reptile, then Ermac, then Bi-Han, then Rain. I think Rain's behind Smoke, let's be honest. He's probably behind Kano too, honestly. And then Kung Lao, this is like old school Kung Lao. He should probably be in the very expensive category, maybe because he's old school Kung Lao. I'm not sure though. They kill him in every single game and every single movie. So how much do they actually value Kung Lao? Nah, I'm not sure. I'll put him right here in front of... I don't want to put them both in the same row though. That's the dumb part. Let's be real, he's like probably way up here. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, then Kenshi, Quan Chi, and Sindel. Sindel's way up further, my bad. Sindel's probably like way up here. And then we've got Kenshi's probably pretty far up too, actually. He's probably like around here maybe? That makes sense to me. Then in the cheaper category, we have Takeda, Goro, Baraka. Who's worth more, Baraka or Goro? Because we know power-wise, Goro is way stronger, but Baraka is in way more video games and movies. So which IP is worth more, do you think? I'm gonna go ahead and say Baraka because he can be a good guy, which means he'd have a more important role in the story. So I'm gonna say he's worth a bit more. Now, Frost should be way behind these characters though. Yeah, she's probably way back here. This is General Shao, keep in mind, not Shao Kahn, and as a result, he's not nearly as popular. I'm going off Mortal Kombat 1 characters for today's video. This makes sense to me so far. I think this works out. Then in the Take-em category, so here's where it gets kind of funny. In the final row, things kind of invert. So normally it would be like, you know, least cheap to like, you know, most cheap, but in the bottom category, it's like who is the most likely to get sold versus like least likely in this category. So should I put Natara at the front or all the way at the very end if she's the least valuable? I'm gonna say all the way at the end here, I guess. We're gonna do it that way. So she's the most likely to get sold for cheap, and then like right behind her maybe is Havoc, and then Li Mei is gonna be around there. Shujinko's probably around here too. Garrus, I mean, would anybody even want to buy Garrus? He's such a particular character. Honestly, you could probably remove Garrus from the entire tier list and it would still make sense, because who's gonna buy just Garrus? Motaro's probably not worth very much, unfortunately. I think Motaro's really cool, but who's gonna pay for just the Monster Boy, right? Or rather, who would pay for the Monster Boy on top of like several other characters, right? If you're purchasing like 1 or 5 characters for your game, would you want to spend the money on Motaro or just make a brand new villain? Then Serena somewhere around here. I guess it doesn't really matter what order the final row is in, because they're in the Take-em category. At the end of the day, they're all characters that WB does not value very much, and as a result, maybe they're cheaper than everybody else, and they probably don't care as long as you buy them, right? Like, take them. All right, everyone, I think that's about it for today's tier list video. I wanted to make a video that nobody else would probably cover, and the Fort Snake did point out this video topic does not make much sense if you think about it for too long. So don't do that, just have fun with it. I decided to rank them based more on cost instead of how likely they are to be sold. That was the original idea for the tier list, but like Snake pointed out, doesn't really make much sense. So at the last minute, and I do mean the very last minute, right before recording, I decided to change it based on their prices. And hopefully that made for a fun video. I definitely hope so. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below. If you're brand new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.